All right, y'all. I don't know what just happened. If you can see me, please drop a comment because I just got kicked out of my own studio for some reason, and I have no freaking idea why. So, hi everyone. I'm Chris. This is Ending the Stigma. LinkedIn is live. All right. Kara sees me. Randy sees me. All right. So we're good. All right. So we're live. Man, that is some weird stuff, and I just low key panicked. All right, good deal. So, look, y'all, like I see all kinds of Facebook names I don't know. So, if we're not connected, please send me a friend request on Facebook. Um, Linsey and I were talking about this backstage. Like everyone I've possibly had a chance to connect to that is in any way not even associated with We Fight Monsters, but knows people with them or whatever, y'all send me a connection request because I want to know you. I told Linsey, tell everyone at her house to send me a connection request, a friend request, because I want to know all of you. I love all of you like family. Um, and I'm super excited about tonight because, like, if you've been following me or been friends with me anytime since March, you have seen, I don't even know how many posts about what we're doing with The Raven is Here. My sister Kara, my brother-in-law Josh, and I. We're going to go to Memphis. We're leaving for Memphis in 2 weeks from Thursday. We're going to go up there and see Ben and Jess and my guest tonight, and Chris Bobbin and Josh Sneed, and I don't even know who all else is going to be there. Julia and Josh Matheson, I think, are going to come in on Sunday morning. We're going to get to meet them. All these amazing people. Like, I have a whole new family in Memphis now, and I've never met any of them in real life, and I love all of them like family. So we're going to go up there. Chris Leahy, bro, if I pronounced your name wrong, Leahy, I don't know. If I pronounced your name wrong, I am so sorry. We're going to go up there. We're going to meet all of them. We're going to figure out what they're doing, how they're doing it. We're going to bring it back here to Jacksonville, Texas, and just kind of replicate it. We're going to turn old dope houses into hope houses. We're going to minister to and love Leahy. Thank you, Chris. We're going to minister to and love on the homeless, the addicted, the trafficked, all the things. So I had Ben and Jess on a while back. If y'all saw that, y'all know just how amazing the stuff that they're doing is. And this is how I met my guest tonight, Linsey Stanphill. We had a conversation 3 weeks ago, probably. I had her on speaker. I was actually at my sister and brother-in-law's house. Had her on speaker. We had a great time. Like, she's just amazing. And just like the 5 minutes we were backstage, 10 minutes, like she's like, that's already like, that's sis, that's my BFF right there. I can already tell, like, she's amazing. So without any further ado, without any other me rambling on, trying to introduce this guest, I'm going to bring out Linsey. Hi, Linsey.
Hey.
Look at this spot. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm here.
Good. Yeah. You're not nervous or anything, right?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah. There's like, she was talking backstage. She was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I was like, sis, it's just you and me. Don't pay attention to any of the comments from the, 30 or 40 people that are watching.
I can't see them, so this is good.
Okay. Well, and I don't know what the view is on an iPad, there should be a deal over on the right where you can click chat and the comments will show up on the right-hand side.
Okay. I see a private chat. Oh,
not shit. The private chat. There it is. There it is. You're good. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, hi.
Hey, how are you?
I love the We Fight Monster shirt you're wearing.
It's one of my favorites.
Be a badass, save a kid, for real. I'm wearing one too.
Today.
Here am I, send me.
All about the kids.
All about the kids. And I have 3 more coming. I ordered 3 on Saturday. Like, my whole wardrobe is going to be We Fight Monster stuff. For sure.
Yeah. Mine's getting pretty, I'm running out of room.
Yeah, I am too. I'm fixing to have to do like some t-shirt culling because all I'm wearing is his stuff now.
And they're all good.
They're all so good. Yeah. So tell us, how did you meet Ben and Jess?
I met Ben and Jess through, I was in Shelby County Drug Court here in Memphis, and I heard about them through drug court, and through a mutual friend, was introduced to them, and I heard about what they were doing. You know, you hear about in this thing, like it's all about giving back. It's all about, but when you're on this other side, like I can't describe the feeling of like wanting to help someone get clean through like what you've been
Yeah.
through, just letting them know like there is another way to live today. Like you do not
Yeah.
have to struggle if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And so Ben and Jess did the first event that I went to was a buy back the block thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they were showing people how they were rehabbing homes over off Melrose, and we fed people, and just like the love and the just it's just a feel good kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at that point, I decided that I wanted to be a part of anything that they did,
Yeah.
and following that, they did. So that was maybe September, October of last year. And then November, we did a Thanksgiving where we fed the homeless in South Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same thing at Christmas time, we did feed the homeless. And we gave toys, to parents and children that weren't able to buy them. And it was so humbling. It hits close to home because I've been there. I've been that girl on the street that just wanted a hot meal, one day. Like, I would have given anything to walk up on that in my addiction, honestly. To be able to give children, I've been there. I haven't had gifts to give my kids for Christmas. So for people to stand there and hand out free gifts, it's just one of those feelings you can't describe. You have to be there to experience it.
And that is that's at the crux of what they do is they meet people where they're at. Like there's no judgment.
Absolutely.
Say there's no judgment. Like say if you were still in the streets, and you walked up, they would have not judged you for still being an addict, and they'd have still given your kids some Christmas gifts.
Exactly. Because we know we've been there.
We've been there.
Even for people that haven't been there, it's just when your heart is there. Yeah.
Yeah. And like my addiction, I never was addicted to opiates or anything. And I know that's like the focus of what because I know that's huge in Memphis. I was a meth addict. I was a meth head. And I never was exactly homeless or living on the streets, but I was so far ostracized and cut off from my family that just having somebody that could have reached out right then would have been huge, or to walk up on something like that. You know what I mean? Just to been like, it would have been a way. It may not have gotten me clean, but it would have got me to thinking. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. I lived in my car, so that was like, I lived in hotels, in and out of hotels, of course, in my car, and I will never take it for granted again. I was to a point where I was done. I was sick and tired.
Yeah.
Sick and tired.
And I think that's one of the things we're looking forward to the most is being part of like Friday. I think Jess said like they feed some homeless people or something. Like, I don't even remember the whole schedule of stuff. Kara's been talking to them about that. Is Chris Smith here? Is that Chris Smith? Wait a minute. Did I miss his comment? Or did somebody just tag him? Shannon, did you tag him? I don't see Chris. Have you met Chris Smith?
I feel like I have. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Big, just freaking muscle bound dude.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So he works with a lot of the community and with addicts in Chattanooga. I think
he was at Christmas. At the Christmas. He was at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
One of them.
Yes. Yeah. The needle exchange. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Like I used to be so against that. Because I was like, well, you're enabling them, yada, yada, yada. But the more you think about it, the more I realize, and especially after talking to Jess about it, like you don't just come in and you swap out your needle and get a clean one. Like you have to sit down and talk to someone, right?
Process. So yeah, like I've been out there. They get demographics on the people. there's treatment offered, there's food offered, testing, HIV testing. I feel like anybody's first impression maybe is like, you're giving away free needles to addicts, like you're enabling them. But in reality, we're addicts. We're going to do what we want to do when we want to do it. So why not try to prevent, the spread of disease and everything else that's going on out there.
Yeah, for real.
It's more to me.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm hoping Chris, like Josh just said, he used to be his sponsor. I'm hoping Chris can make it down there when we're there, because Chris was a guest on the show last year.
Yes.
And he's freaking amazing. For sure. So tell us, all right, so we've kind of you've given us a background on how you got involved with We Fight Monsters and Ben and Jess. Take us back to the beginning of how did Linsey get on drugs, and like take us on a little bit of a journey where, and you can tell as much or as little as you want to, of how that got started, and then just we'll kind of go from there.
So for me, in my case, it was, I had an okay childhood. I had a good childhood, no really complaints.
Yeah, same.
My father died when I was 18 years old, unexpectedly, of a heart attack. I had to identify his body. It was really traumatic for me. And so, as a teenager, I was drinking, smoking weed on the weekends, like normal kids do, teenagers. When that happened, I drank for a different reason. I started drinking to hurt myself. I drank to die. I was resentful at God. Who is God to take a man out of his daughter? I didn't understand. I didn't. I just, at 18, I couldn't comprehend it at all. So I feel like that's where I passed the threshold. I started drinking. I would do any mind-altering substance, to change the way I felt, because I felt abandoned in a way. I felt lonely. I felt scared. And just like part of me was missing. From there, I got married young, pregnant and married. I say young, it was like 23. And my marriage was based on addiction. And I mean, just from the jump, from day one, like he was doing drugs, I want to do drugs, it's just how I lived. We got pregnant. I had a C-section and got addicted to pain pills after a C-section. It just so happens I was working at a doctor's office during that time, and I called people's prescriptions in. So I'm like, well, I like pain pills. I'll just call in my own scripts. And that worked for 2 years. So for 2 years, I'm like feeding this habit with no repercussions until it didn't work, right? I got caught up. The doctor was like, I don't want to press charges. I'm like, look, I have a problem, obviously. I need to go to rehab.
I don't want you to press charges either, by the way, bro.
I need to go to rehab.
Yeah.
And so I did. So I went to rehab so my mom wouldn't be mad at me, so that I can make things right with the doctor's office, right? And I got back out and thought I had this thing licked. My husband's still over here using. That's not going to work. I use. And I got a job at a pain clinic. Smart, right?
Right. You have an addict addicted to pain pills. Going to work at a pain clinic.
It's so messy.
Yes. Way to stay sober, Linsey.
Yeah. There's script pads everywhere. I'm like, I'll take that. And started writing my own Percocet 30s. That worked for a while until it didn't, right? The truth has always set me free. In my addiction, and still to this day, like, if I don't have anything, I have my truth. So I got caught writing, pain pill scripts. The DEA, everybody was involved. They were like, if you don't have any more scripts out there, we won't press charges. By the grace of God, they had pulled the last script I had written. And so like, I mean, I should be in jail. I should have
Yeah.
been in jail for a long time, but like, it's a blessing that I'm not. So then again, I went back to rehab. I was like, oh, I'm going to get clean for my family and my kids this time. Right. That's a good reason. And yeah, I fell off again. It's like this repeated cycle, right? So finally, I'm like, my husband is the issue. So we got a divorce and rehab once again, and I got a rehab boyfriend, right?
You hit that 13th step way too early.
Way too early, and I thought he picked me up. I thought we were going to a meeting one night, right? He's like, do you have $20? I'm like, yeah, we have money today, right? So I'm thinking, oh, he just wants me to buy him dinner. Like, we're clean, you know? The next thing I know, he's shooting me up with heroin for the first time. And yeah, so that rabbit hole went from pain pills to heroin to just going. When I got divorced, I gave my mom custody of my kids. Because I knew I was to a point where I had lost control. I had no money.
How long ago was this, real quick? Like what year-ish?
30. I was 30. I'll be 31
I mean, like,
next month.
You'll be what?
39 plus 1 next month. Don't say it, okay?
No, I won't. I'm already past that. And like, I get it. But let me ask you this real quick, not to interrupt your story, and because you know, it wasn't until my brother died that I really went down the rabbit hole of the whole fentanyl thing. Like, was, you know, 9 years ago, almost 10, not quite, but was the fentanyl epidemic what it was?
No.
Like, did you have to worry about fent being in the stuff you were putting in?
We were doing heroin. We were doing heroin.
It really was heroin without anything mixed in it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the way it was when I was doing meth. Like, you didn't have to worry about, all you had to worry about was the stuff being stepped on. Like, was somebody cutting it?
Exactly.
You didn't have to worry about somebody poisoning the shit where you would die.
Right. That's right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Carry on. That's all I wanted to know.
You're okay. And so, oh gosh, I'm a bad train of thought person.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to think of
healing brain. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I gave my mom custody of my kids because I knew I lost all control. For whatever reason, I started shooting dope and went back to rehab. This time, I don't even know what the reason was I did it for. Because probably I felt like I needed to go because I was shooting dope, right? And shooting dope. Hang on.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't know what I was about to say. Oh, shooting dope. I went back out there with my ex-husband. Okay, so me and my husband have been through divorce. We linked back up because we're toxic as fuck together,
yes.
And we know how to do bad together. We know how to get high, right? So that's when like my spiral started. Like, we were doing meth and heroin every day. We started living in and out of hotel rooms. We Mama, she said, go back with ex. Love you, Mama. Love you.
Is that your mom for real?
Yeah.
Is it really? Mama, send me a friend request for real.
I love her. Okay, and so speaking of, Mama hasn't, bless Mama, she has never given up on me through this whole thing. Like, just tried after tried after tried after tried, and like,
that's the way my parents were and still are, still supporting me through all this.
For in debt for her, for taking my kids when I couldn't raise them, you know, for still, I'm gonna cry, for still being the provider that she is today when I'm trying to get my life on track. But yeah, I went back out there. We started, I started getting charges because we were getting done with it, you know, like, real dumb. When they say that you go back out there and it gets worse, like, it's the absolute truth. It never got better. Like, my goal in life was to be a successful addict, and it's not possible. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna alter my mind until I die, and I'm gonna be successful at it. And I was sure of it. and it's not possible. And so we started catching charges. I was put on probation, and 4 days after being put on probation, I got arrested again. I'm like, who the fuck can't, who can't stay out of trouble? Who can't stay out of trouble for at least a week, before you're
right.
Like, obviously God is telling me, like, stop doing this dumb shit.
Say, listen, let me interrupt you. I hate to interrupt you, but listen to this. So I'm on probation. I'm doing drugs still while I'm on probation. My probation officer shows up at my parents' house where I'm staying, but I'm really at a camper behind my granddad's house. Same piece of property. I'm just in the camper. And I am spun up like a research monkey. I'm talking about I am pupils dilated, like ginning. And I was so tripped out. I put on a pair of sunglasses and walked into my parents' house and talked to my probation officer in a pair of sunglasses inside the house because I was so scared that he was going to see my pupils that were just like that big around.
That big. Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I pulled up at the gas station. Mom was like, come on, I'll fill your car up with gas. And I pulled up and my eyes were, we'd been up all night. It's like 6 a.m, right? People are supposed to be just getting up. She's like, well, you're high. I'm like, morning, like, it's just, the ridiculousness is it's insane.
There's
and
no,
we're normal.
Yeah.
I look normal.
You didn't, but you didn't. I thought I did too. And I look back on the very few pictures that are from around that time.
Yeah.
And like, I have freaking dark circles under my eyes. And I'm 5'11", but big boned, like I'm stocky. So I'm not just a little guy. But I was 170 pounds. Like I weigh 215 or 20 now. Like that's how tiny I was. And I was like, no, I'm good, bro. I look normal. Nobody knows anything. you seen that you seen that meme of the little kid going, a bullshit?
Right.
A bullshit?
My son says
that's exactly the way. Yes.
Yeah. So I got a warrant put out for my arrest 4 days after being put on probation, and I fell asleep. We fell asleep on fentanyl in a gas station parking lot. The poor attendant left us there for 3 hours. So it felt like 5 minutes. And a cop knocked on my window. He was like, excuse me, can I have your license? I'm like, the first thing that pops in my mind, I'm about to take a ride. I'm going to jail. I got a warrant. I'm going to jail. So in the addict brain, my first thought is I'm going to jail. My second thought is, how can I snort this fentanyl in my wallet? Like
before he sees it.
before I have to take a ride. Yeah.
Listen to this shit. I was with 2 other buddies. We went to the gas station for something, probably a drink and some snacks or something. And I don't know why I had empty baggies in my pocket that had previously had stuff in it, but I did. I had more in my pocket. We need them, right? We need them. And we're pulling out of the parking lot like we're normal, we're straight, like nobody's swerving, all the lights work. And a cop pulls in and I freak out and I eat those baggies.
Oh my God, I've done it.
And I'm like, what? They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm eating baggies, bro. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. No evidence left behind.
Yeah, no evidence for sure.
Yeah, I get it. I swear I get it. I used to keep it in my bra and I'm like, oh, cop, eat whatever it was. Paper, tin foil. Whatever.
Didn't matter. Yeah, you're swallowing some stuff.
Yeah, sure. And hoping that it'll get me high because I know I'm about to get in trouble.
Right.
So I went to jail that night and I'm freaking out, detoxing my ass off. And I didn't know that on probation, if you violate probation, it's an automatic 30 days in jail. I did not know that. So I had a couple charges floating around, Chris. I had some up here in Division 6, some in here in Division 8. So my lawyer got them combined and pushed down into drug court. And they offered me drug court or my time, which was been 11/29, and all this time I had been to rehab and never gone for myself. Every time I went for my kids, I went to make my mom happy. I went to fix my marriage. Like sitting down in jail made me realize, like, you can't do this. Like, you've been doing this for 20 years and you're not good at it.
Right.
Like everything that you have and worked for, your children that don't deserve any of this, are suffering. Everything is gone. You don't even have custody of your kids anymore. I'm not even allowed at this point to my mother's house or to see my kids. And I surrendered big time in jail. I was like, I need drug court. I need the accountability of someone to tell me when to piss in this cup, someone to tell me what to do. How I don't know how to live at this point. My whole life has been based on chaos, and I needed the
Isn't it crazy how you get stuck in that? Like I am so glad. I say it all the time. I had to do almost 8.5 years in prison to get my head right, but I wouldn't trade those 8.5 years for anything, because it took going from chaos to ultra structured,
right,
to me finally getting and it took 4 of those 8.5 years for me to finally say, all right, God, like, just whatever. I'm tired of this. I can't do it. I spent 3-ish years thinking, oh, I can do this on the weekend. It'll be fine. That's how I started. I started with $25 on the weekend and moved to an 8-ball every 2 or 3 days. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how you can't do it. So it took all that time, and it took going from utter chaos, from, staying up for a week at a time, from just being dumb and doing all the crazy stuff, to all of a sudden, whoo, I'm ultra structured now.
Yeah. Yep.
And it took that, and it took God. That it was God. Like, it was just God. That's all there was to it.
Yeah, I kept, and you get into drug court and any kind of treatment, and you have to, like, what they throw at you is overwhelming. You're like, what the hell? But then you hear.
Oh, I felt that same way when I got out on parole. I was like, how am I ever going to do this?
Right. But then I would go to the moon if I was trying to get my drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It's like, is it really that hard to follow simple rules? Because, like, I will come up with some stuff if we're trying to get high.
Yes.
And so it's like a complete, like, mind flip. Like, I just had to like literally just throw my hands in the air. Like, obviously my life was run on self-will before, and today God's will to me is doing the next right thing. I'm able to share what I've experienced, in hopes that it'll help somebody. I can be accountable today. My kids are in my life today. They had nothing to do with my madness. And they're forgiving. They're forgiving. Like, of course they're hurt and they're damaged, but, like, they're forgiving. And that's just the biggest reward to me.
I absolutely love, and this was like one of my big deals in prison too, is I loved whenever I would see, because I was part of the faith-based. Texas has a mandatory faith-based dorm on every unit. I opened the dorm on the unit I was on. And just to see guys coming in there and talking about their families and seeing their lives changed and seeing them reunited. And now that I'm out and I'm seeing on social media and see, and to hear stories like this. And I've said it for years and years and years, even when I was locked up, is God ordained family.
Mm-hmm.
He ordained family. It was God, Adam and Eve, and then Adam and Eve had a family.
Mm-hmm.
He ordained it. He created it. He does not want to see that tore apart.
Mm-mm.
He is a restorer of families. He will restore the years that the locusts have eaten. That's in somewhere, Jeremiah or Joel, I don't remember. Anyway, he will restore the years that you messed up. And so when I hear stories like this of just people being reunited with their kids, like, that's just freaking amazing to me. Like, I love it. Like, that to me, just, I get high off of it.
It is. It's just like, and what's sad is, you know, a lot of people go through this and they lose their kids, or,
Yes.
you know, they lose custody, or, you know, they have families where you don't get to make amends. And so, like, it's just, I'm just grateful, like, beyond grateful for my life today. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what's happened in 2 years is, Ben made a post about it earlier. Like, everything I bitch about today, I prayed for.
You prayed for it.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm stressing the hell out over bills right now, but I prayed for freedom and to
Right,
have
right.
responsibilities like this.
Like the fact that I work at a shop and they trust me with a key in the cash
Right.
register, like,
Right.
what? That's adult stuff to me. You know,
Yes.
I'm allowed
That's
back in my.
adulting at its finest, man.
I'm allowed back. I'm allowed back in my mom's house today. Like, I promise,
Yeah.
not gonna take nothing today because I don't have.
Yeah.
Like, the peace that I have is, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
For real.
Literally
No,
anything.
I get that 100%. Like, no, I get it 100%. Like, I mean, obviously it has to go through approval, but I have the capability to spend tens or hundreds of thousands of my company's money on stuff. The bigwigs have to approve it, but I
Right.
still have that ability to figure all this stuff up. Thanks, Josh. I thought it was in Joel. Thank you. If you'd have told me this back in 2009 or 10, I'd have been like, nobody's ever going to trust me with tens or
Absolutely
hundreds of
not.
thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Look, that's another thing. In my addiction, I have a huge family on my dad's side. I have like a nice sized family on my mom's side. There was not one. I didn't have one person that I could call. I had burned every single bridge that I ever. Like, today, I have a small army. It's
Yes.
insane. That's not even a word. It's insane. You know, like,
It is.
It's out of
And
this.
it is out of this world. And my mom used to tell me whenever the few times I'd show up, she'd tell me, and if you knew me before I was 15 or 16, everybody that knows me then, I was Christopher, not Chris. She'd tell me, Christopher, I'm praying that you get caught.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
And I used to make me so damn mad. I'd be like, Mom, you cannot pray that.
Yes.
You cannot do that.
But they do.
They do.
Thank God they did. You know what
I know it.
Same exact way. You know, it was almost like when I called her from jail, she's like, what are you doing? You know, like,
yeah.
They got you now. And she did. She told me, she was like, I just, hanging up with her in jail. She's like, I just want you to know that I can finally sleep peaceful at night now.
Yeah, that's the way Mom was.
There, and you're safe.
Yeah, they come saw me in county, and they would, they'd be crying and all this kind of stuff, and they'd cry when they left, but she knew I was safe.
Right.
She knew I weighed what I was supposed to weigh.
Right.
And that I wasn't out there doing stuff that was going to get me killed.
Yeah. Yeah. I will forever be in debt to jail court, just for the structure, for the therapy, for the accountability, all of it.
And that's part of the goal of the Raven is here. Ben's going to kind of hook us up with some people that can maybe talk to some of because we don't have that here. And I don't know if they don't have it in Texas at all, but I know we don't have it in Cherokee County. Mm-hmm. Because just to see like all of y'all that I've just met recently that have come through it, you got a chance to recover and not go to prison.
Right.
And just what it's done in your lives. And like all of y'all sing its praises.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. It's real simple. You wake up and you're like bitching about all the stuff you have to do. And you're like, I could do this or I could sit in jail. And it's like, I think I'll go do this, because we're technically property of the state at this point. Mm-hmm. Those 18 months, like, they own us. And yeah. I will run circles. I will pee in this cup. I will do the therapy. And
yes.
And while people say drug card is hard, like, so what? Losing all your shit and your mind and everything else is hard too. Like,
yeah,
pick what you want.
Yeah, pick your hard. You see it all the time. Like, it's so cliche, but this is hard. Choose your hard.
Yes.
Which hard are you going to choose?
100%.
No, for sure. I love it. Like, I absolutely love it.
Me too.
So like, what's on the horizon for you? Like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? Like, what are Linsey's big dreams? Like, what do you see? And if you don't want to put it all out there yet, that's cool. But like,
No,
what do
I
you
mean,
dream?
it's valid. It's a good question. Honest, because it's what
Yes.
I got today. It's my truth. I'm still working on setting goals and
Hmm.
trying to fulfill them. I never had the only goal I
I
had
get that.
for years was getting high. If
I
I was
get
high, I
that.
was happy. I didn't have to strive to be anything. I just um, eventually, in due time, would be to have my children. Okay, for me to have a house for my children to come to if they're ready and
Mm.
want to be there, right?
Hmm.
I think I have a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old. So my 17-year-old is on his way out. Well, so he thinks, but I feel like he'll be there forever.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but my 10-year-old, and I can be real with you. I've asked him. I'm like, do you think if mom got her own apartment, would you come live with mama? Now, granted, he's been with her since he was 3.
He's been with your mother that long.
Since he was 3, she's had him for
Okay.
7 years, and
Okay.
so Parker is my oldest. Saw me go through my addiction. He saw what it did.
Hmm.
He remembers the bad, and he's angry.
Yeah.
But he's coping. Like we're
Yeah.
working through it. Because it's all we can do today. Peyton doesn't really remember much of it, but I asked him, I said, would you come live with mama if you could? And he said, well, I don't want to make my Nana sad, because if I left her, it would make her sad, but I'm going to come over there a lot if you get a place. And I'm okay with that today.
That's huge.
They're safe and they're cared for. And if I can slowly incorporate myself back in and be the mother, that they deserve, then I'll do that.
Hmm.
To me, it's about the kids. They didn't have anything to do with our madness. And
Yeah.
whatever I can do to mend it in the right way, I'm here for it.
Yeah. And I know you know this, but like all he's known is Nana.
All he's known is Nana. That's exactly right.
So,
Right.
and I can see it just from talking to you. Like you're going to take it however you can get it.
Exactly. 100%. I
Yeah.
am, forever in debt and grateful.
So we're just believing and just speaking it in Jesus' name that you will have him, like you
Yeah.
will have him.
Yeah. Hell, we all might live together.
You all might live together, right? You might be back home driving mama crazy.
Right. So yeah, my kids are the most important thing for me in my future. I have applied to. Okay, so when I was 18 and my dad died, I was going to Southwest for nursing school, and I dropped out. And so I've registered to go back in the fall. Not when you think when I think nursing, I think like, oh, that sounds like a lot, right? Like when I was 18, it was like a dream, that I could accomplish. So now it's like overwhelming for me to say that. So I'm going to start taking a couple classes, back in fall for nursing. I'm going to go toward nursing.
And you don't have any convictions right now, do you?
What's that?
A conviction? Like a felony
I
conviction?
thought you said a convention. I'm like, we're going to a
No,
convention.
no, conviction.
No, I have, mine were actually misdemeanors. So
Awesome.
I asked for drug court. I have misdemeanors, and no, they'll be expunged off my record probably within the next month.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So Amber Williams, she's watching on YouTube. She had a question earlier when you were talking about going to work from the doctor's office to the pain management office. She wanted to know how you got hired at the pain management office if you had.
Because there was he let me go get help. He said, I'm firing you, take your things, go get help. And we cut ties.
So no record, like no nothing. Like it was just nothing. Cut ties.
Walgreens said, we're not pressing charges, we're leaving it up to the doctor. And I was like, and same thing with the pain clinic. They said, take your things, go get help, and cut ties with me. And
okay.
I am.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
It's a blessing for sure.
Well, I cannot wait. I know Kara and I both, like, I was over there last night. I'm over there 2 or 3 nights a week. And every time the three of us get together, it's all about, I cannot wait to get to Memphis. I cannot wait to meet them. I cannot wait to hug their neck. Like, I absolutely cannot wait to meet all of you in person and just hug your neck and just be like, this is my family. This is my new family. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Life is short, man. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. Why not? And I guess coming from, like, you know, in your addiction, you're alone. There was like no love in my addiction. It's just a void. So my friend gets on to me all the time. She's like, you can't love everybody. I'm like, well, I do. I was like, and it's,
yeah.
What did my sponsor say? She said, you can love everybody without, God, she's going to kill me for not remembering. Oh, and it's non-negotiable. I love you and it's non-negotiable. So we don't have to talk about it. I can still love you regardless because I can feel today. And that's like one of the biggest blessings. It's hard sometimes to feel, but it's living. And that's what it's all about.
Yep. Julia, you're right. Lots of neck hugging. So much hugging.
Love her. Love Julia.
I know. She's your bestie. I already know. Like, we've had a few conversations. Like, one day we chatted off and on all afternoon, and she was just telling me some of her and Josh's story. And I'm trying to get Josh and Julia both on the show, like trying to get it all, the logistics worked out, because Josh works so many hours and all that is a little bit tough, but trying to get both of them on the show. Yeah. And just like her and Josh both, like, and I told her and you know what I told her? Like, I said, you know what? And I was talking about something else. And I said, you know what? I really feel like whoever God has for me for a wife in the future is going to have come out of the drug lifestyle to understand what we're doing and the mission and all that kind of stuff. And she said, Chris, maybe, but maybe not, because I have had no experience with that. But Josh did. And now I'm like devoted to all this.
Yeah.
And so it was just this cool conversation. Like, she really, I'm not opposed either way. Like, and I don't know that I'm even looking for a wife right now. But anyway, she was just like the wisdom in that. She just dropped it on me. And I was like, oh.
No, okay. Honey, that is what she has, is wisdom. I met her. Okay, so these T-shirts brought us together, right?
Yeah, so tell us that story, because like she's told me a little bit about it, and I've seen comments between like Ben and Josh about it. So tell us the story.
Okay, so Bubba, you know Bubba.
Bubba, John Cox, he's right here.
Bubba.
Yep. Okay. Happy birthday, Bubba. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday. Yeah.
So Bubba and Josh were on the way back from a convention, I think. Don't get me wrong, I think. And they stopped at a restaurant in Paris, Tennessee, to have dinner with Josh's son. And Julia, I guess Julia and her husband, they're probably about to tell you about this experience. Josh, they saw their shirts. And so I think Josh Matheson, started talking to Bubba and Josh, like, about what your shirts are. And like, so instantly, the Mathesons were intrigued. And the next thing I know, Josh and Erica bring this trailer. It's like bigger than you can see my hands, full of donations to the Buy Back the Block thing. And I didn't meet Julia then. We had Thanksgiving, and then they came down, and he brought all the girls and her to the Christmas thing. And Josh was like, come here, I want you to meet my wife. And ever since that day, it's like, you know how sometimes you just click? We just clicked. I don't know how to be a friend. Like, and for 20 years, I didn't have friends, right?
Right.
That's my drugs.
Because dope friends are really not friends.
So Julia doesn't come from addiction, and I hope that's okay. That's a good thing that I just said that.
That is a good thing.
So I look at her as this like woman that she has a normal brain. It's normal to me, right? Like, because mine's like damaged and dysfunctional. And she just kept kind of pushing, and I'm like, why is, you know, like, do you want to be my friend? I don't know how to be a friend. What do I do? Like, how do we even do this? And she never gave up on me.
Yeah.
It got to a point where, like, we read a devotional every day, and we've been doing
She
it
told
for
me that.
over like 150 days now. Like, it's become this routine. So, like, I pick her brain because it's normal, and you know, and it makes me. It's just great. All of it. It's just great. Her family is my family now. Our kids are friends. We meet up on the weekends and go to Jackson. I feel like I've known her longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's just one of them God things. Like, she came into my life, and it's what I needed at that time. Like, I have 3 incredibly strong women in my life. Julia, my house mom, Miss Tammy Howard, she's on here. And, 4, Mama, of course. And then my sponsor, Angie Q. And they're like my powerhouse. I can go to each one of them, and, you know, I can pick this one about my spiritual. I can pick this one about my steps. And I can pick Julia about my fight or flight. And I want to freak out on this guy, or I want to, you know, whatever about this person. And she just is so calm and walks me through it like it's normal.
And I want to, like, just throw this out there, because something I just noticed is just absolutely vital for anybody that's in recovery, especially new in recovery. All these people are female.
All these people are female.
They're all same sex, same gender.
Experience. All these, like, you have to stick
You have to.
You have to stick with female. And yeah, so, like, you know, another person said something to me, and it's one of those things, you know, you hear so much, what are they called? Like, sayings in recovery. Like, for me to recover is to stay in the middle, right? So, like, if I surround myself with my meetings, my step work, my service work, right? So, then it's really hard for me to fall off today. You know, and God's grace and prayer. Like, I've noticed that the obsession to, like, use has been removed, and that's only by these women and God. It's incredibly, I have no words for it.
Yeah.
It's just,
well, just so you know, Julia talks about you the exact same way that you talk about her.
She's my person. She is my person.
Yeah, she absolutely does. Yeah. Like, our messenger conversations, she just, like, sings your praises and talks about how amazing a person you are.
It's a friend. Like,
she's a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people throw around that word so easily, like, oh, they're my friend. Like, no, she's my friend. Like, that means something to me today. Like, I can have a friend, and I don't want to use her for anything. I'm not trying to manipulate her for anything. I don't need anything from her. Like, she loves me, and I love her back. And that's all we need. It's deep.
I agree.
It's so deep.
100%. I love it. Yeah. Because that wasn't something that we knew about back then.
Absolutely not. Like,
it was our friends were, okay, who could get this? Who could get that? We're going to, you got some. All right, we're going to go right around tonight.
Yeah.
You know, but
couldn't steal from you. You weren't going to give me nothing. Like, I literally was like a loner out there. Like, if you didn't have dope, if you weren't benefiting me in any way, get to stepping. This how it was. Because we're selfish. So selfish.
Yeah. So selfish.
But it's 100%. Controlled by the disease. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This has been an awesome conversation. I can't believe we've already been talking for 50 minutes. You were so nervous, and we've been just like, I told you, it was you and me, girl. It's just you and me. Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah, this is good. This has been real good. Again, anybody that's friends with Linsey or anybody else that's watching here on Facebook, please send me a connection request. I'll try to remember tomorrow to go back through the comments and find people that I'm not connected to, because I want to know all of you. Like, just everybody from Memphis just seems like some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power numbers. And when you're all when you all get together and you have the same vision, like, there's something so strong about that.
So strong.
It's so powerful.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
Sure.
I love it. Who do I have next week? Let me pull up my calendar. Hang on. Where's my calendar?
Julia and Josh.
Julie and Josh, maybe if I can get it worked out. I don't have anybody next week. So I messaged Josh Sneed like 15 minutes ago. He said he'd be a guest. Maybe I can get him on next week. I don't know yet. Like I want to get Josh on. I want to get Chris Bobbitt on. I want to get Bubba on. I definitely want to get Julia and Josh on. And that may have to be, I'm just going to give everybody fair warning because of Josh's schedule. We may have to do a pre-recorded and then go live with that. And then we be in the comments answering any questions. It's not my favorite way to do it because I really like being live and being able to answer questions or comments while they're coming in. But if that's the way it has to work, that's the way it has to work because they have an amazing, amazing story. I will, Bubba. I will. I'll be reaching out. Like I've got, I don't have anybody scheduled after this week. So like I'll be reaching out to all of y'all to try and get something done. And I may even reach out to Martha. Like Martha, I would love to hear.
Oh, Jesus.
I love hearing it from the family side of it. I love hearing the family stories.
100%.
So Martha, please send me a friend request right now so I don't forget. Like I would love to have you on and just talk about what it was like from your side watching Linsey go through all this. And I'm careful when I do that. Like I know she wouldn't just like freaking bash you, especially since
no, put it out there.
now.
It's just real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is real. Like it gives
proof today.
Yeah.
And if we can't put it out there to help the next person sick and suffering, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. John said give him my number. So text me his number whenever we get off of here and I'll reach out to him.
I will definitely.
But I love hearing, like I've only had a few families of people in addiction or that were in prison on, and just hearing it from their side of the story puts everything so much more into perspective.
Absolutely.
Like I know what my mom and dad went through, and what my brothers and sisters went through, what my grandparents went through, but to hear it out of somebody else's mouth, you're just like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I was really a piece of work. Like it's just like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to leave work at a normal time. However we have to do it, Josh, like we'll make it work somehow or another. For real. For real. All right, y'all. Linsey, thank you so much. Like this has been absolutely amazing. And I'm going to put this into prison terms. Some of y'all will understand. It is 13 days. No.
13 days and a wake up.
It's not 13 days. Hang on. 14, 15. Let's see, 14, 15, 16. It's 16 days and a wake up.
16 days and a wake up.
16 days and a wake up. I posted that the other day, and Dave Johnson is the only one that caught it. He said, that's some prison time right there.
When
and I was like,
know.
you know. Yeah, like you do not. Like, so look, I'm going to explain it to everybody. So it's not 17 days from now. It's 16 days and a wake up because that last day, absolutely, it does not count for you are out the door. Peace out, Cub Scout.
You're out the door.
So 16 days and a wake up, we will be in Memphis, hugging all of these amazing people's necks, loving on them, and just like getting to meet them. So we're all excited. So anyway, yeah, that's it. I'll be reaching out to hopefully Josh Sneed will be on next week, and then I'll get some other people from the We Fight Monsters crew, the Rebos crew, to come on and just tell their stories because I know everyone has some amazing stuff to tell.
They do.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Linsey,
Well,
thanks again.
You.
Yeah,
right.
we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye.